Hi, good morning or good afternoon. Today is Friday, March 8th. Um, Everybody needs paper and something to write with. So it can be scratch paper or assignment paper, as long as you have something to write with. If you need to pause the video, you can do so now. Okay, we're going to go over a few examples. This is review from 7.5. So we did the 7.5 notes yesterday, did some practice problems yesterday. So we should be doing more of the same. So we're just going to review 3 or 4 problems here together, and then you can work on your assignment. The first problem is y squared plus 13y plus 40. And the instructions, even though I didn't write them down here for this problem, are just to factor the polynomial. So we're going to take this polynomial and I'm going to turn it into 2 binomials being multiplied together. So in this case, we're going to have a y here and a y here. And when we multiply the first terms, we're going to get y squared. When we multiply the last terms, the last 2 numbers are going to multiply to make 40. So remember, our strategy that we used is to follow kind of the X game model from our Bell work that we've been doing for weeks on Delta Math. So this number goes on the top, and the 13, or the number in the middle, or the number on just the X or Y term, goes on the bottom. And it's our job to come up with these 2 numbers right here. Now everything's positive over here, which means over here everything's going to be positive. So both of these numbers are going to be positive. They have to multiply to make 40 and add to make 13. So if you know what it is right off the bat, you can just go with it. If you're not sure, kind of the strategy that we should use is to take 40 and factor 40. So again, 2 numbers that multiply to make 40 and then add to 13. If I have 1 times 40, that doesn't add to 13. So that's not it. Keep going. There's 2 going to 40. It does 20 times, but that isn't it. 3 doesn't work. Does 4 go into 40 10 times? Is 4 plus 10 13? No, it isn't. So keep going. Does 5 go into 40? It does 8 times. Is 5 plus 8 13? Yes, it is. So that is our answer. So we're going to use positive 5 and positive 8. That's going to go right here, 5 and 8. So we have successfully factored this trinomial. That's all this question is asking us to do. So that's all we have to do. So up here, it just wanted us to factor. Now down here, it's going to say solve. So now we have to solve this equation. So we're going to do it the same way. We're going to start out by factoring and then solve. So we need to turn this into 2 binomials being multiplied together. We have our variable n, so n will go here and here. We have a positive number on the end, so we know the signs are going to be the same, so either both positive or both negative. Looking at this term in the middle, it's negative, so that means we have 2 negatives. Using our X games model, we want them to multiply to make 18 and add to make 9. So I got to come up with 2 numbers. If you see it right off the bat, you can go ahead and put it in there. If you don't see it, kind of the strategy that we're going to use is come up to the side and factor 18. So always just start with the smallest number and just go up from there. So 1 goes in 18 times. If I add those together, that's 19, so that isn't it. Then I'm going to move to 2. 2 goes into 18 9 times. If you add that, that's 11, so that isn't it. 3 goes into 18 6 times. And when you add those together, 3 plus 6 is 9. So that means that is our answer. We're going to have 3 and 6. Missed a sign there because that is a negative 9. So these two numbers need to add to negative 9, which means they're both going to be negative. So we have n minus 3 and n minus 6. Now at this point we have to solve, not just factor it, so we're not finished. Now we're going to use what we learned in 7.4, and we're going to solve this. If we have two things being multiplied together to equal 0, then we know that either the first thing or the second thing has to equal 0. So n minus 3 equals 0, or n minus 6 equals 0. One of those two things has to be true. Solve each equation, and I get n equals 3, and over here n equals 6. So these are my answers. N is equal to 3 and 6. Or I could say that the roots are n equals 3 and n equals 6. Roots again just mean answers for a polynomial equation. Okay, we're going to look at one more example before we go on our own. So again, our instructions here are going to be to solve. So this is similar to the second example that we did, only it's kind of all out of whack. So before we can even get started, we need to make it look like the last example that we did. So we need to make it look like that. So we're going to have it in standard form and then equals 0 on the end. So I need to rearrange all this, add and subtract, and get it to looking similar to that. To do so, I'm going to move this term over here. So I'm going to subtract 8b. And I get b squared minus 8b plus 5 is equal to negative 10. So I'm getting closer. It looks more like that. Next I just need to add 10. And then I will get b squared minus 8b plus 15 is equal to 0. Now I have a trinomial here that I can factor, and then I will know my two answers after I factor it. So just like we're playing the x game, we got 15 up here and negative 8 down here. I need to multiply the 15 and add the negative 8. This is positive on the top, so we know that they're gonna add up to 8, and we know that they're gonna be the same sign, so either both positive or both negative. Since we have a negative on the bottom, they have to both be negative. So again, if you see what goes right there right away, you can just put it. If you don't see it, kind of the strategy that we're going to use is off to the side. You're going to factor 15. So 1 goes into 15 15 times. Do those two numbers add up to 8? No, that's 16, so that isn't it. Does 2 go into 15? No, it's an odd number. Does 3 go into 15? It does 5 times. Is 3 plus 5 8? It is. So we know we're going to have 3 here and 5 here. And then we just got to figure out the signs. Again, we've already established they're both negative, so that has to be negative 3 and negative 5. Which means over here we have b minus 3 and b minus 5 are equal to 0. again, the zero product property, they're multiplied together to equal 0. So b minus 3 equals 0, or b minus 5 equals 0. Solve both equations. I get b equals 3 and b equals 5. So the answer is b equals 3 or b equals 5. Or we could say the roots are of this polynomial equation are 3 and 5. Okay, our assignment today, we're going to do big ideas 3, 8, 24 classwork. That's what we should be doing. If for whatever reason you don't have a Chromebook or access to a Chromebook, you can do this alternative assignment, which is page 371, numbers 2 through 46 even. Thank you.